Nobody's memory. Oh my god. I did that thing where I hit go live. I thought I hit go live and I didn't, so I just have been talking for like 20 minutes. I've done that, I think, once before. Everything is so loopy. It's been a hard day. I've had a hard day. I've had to put extra effort into releasing my chi today because I have so much energy. I just gotta, And I woke up. My day started waking. I was dreaming. I'm a lucid dreamer, and I was coming in and out of wakedom. And when I was out, I was like, I woke up and then fell back to sleep and started dreaming like immediately, right? Like I was, and in this dream, Tucker got hit by a van, and it just sucked. It just was so real. It just sucked. So that's how I started my day. So I started my day over. So, this whole self-talk, he's fine, he's okay, it just sucked. I mean, because dreams to me, are just our spirits in higher dimensions. And things are very real in dreams to me. And so it was very real that I witnessed them. I just was blessed to wake up and then there he was. The reality didn't match. Whew. So, they don't go out of the house much. They're all old and stuff like that. Every now and again in the fall, when the conditions are right, we'll load up the minivan. And I want to take Mom up to Colorado because it's like 36 miles north. I mean, it's right freaking there. Anyway, so I started my day over and I was like, all right. Mom got up and around. I was already starting to feel edgy. This full moon's coming up in freaking 2 days. I'm already feeling the energy from that Scorpio, depending on which freaking astrology you listen to. So I'm feeling I'm just wound up. So go out, get a cup of coffee. Had my lavender syrup. I told the people, I said I looked online for lavender syrup for my coffee because this stuff is pretty good. And then they have these little things of peppermint mocha. That's my favorite, but usually they only have it at the holidays, but they have it here. But it's everybody else's favorite too, so they usually run out of that before all the other ones. And so, but it's good together. But peppermint and lavender, it's a nice flavor. So I that's a good way. I was excited for my coffee, and then I saw it's like $4.79, and I'm like, man, all people have to do is throw out catchphrases, throw out words like inflation, and then everyone's like, yeah, we could raise the prices now. It's just, I mean, we live in such a freaking ridiculous reality, the way that people make it because of who they declare that they are and how they feel that day. This is how it should be, and let's have a burn day on a freaking red level day and start the biggest fire in New Mexico history, and which summons the freaking Satan and ball suckers. That's what I call them. They all these politicians and famous people, they all suck Satan and ball sack. BAAL. Yeah. So, and I'm like, dude, don't make that dipshit come to this state. The governor's dipshit enough for this freaking state. And then they summons the freaking king dipshit. The king of the dipshits, he's in town. I gotta transmute that dipshit energy? Really? Hi, Stan Lee. You'll help me transmute it. So, and then there was a squabble this morning with one of the kittens. And Artie getting too close to when he was eating, and there was no harm done, but it just, It was I gotta, like, now it's like, okay, something else I gotta pay attention to. Gotta put the cats away and not have them around at all during feeding time. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these cats. I don't know, I just take care of stuff when I got them. So, what do you do? And then, so, okay, my day, I'm trying to start my day over and not letting the demons win. The doldrums and the demons win. Hi, Gray Kitty. So I'm like, okay, this has the potential to be extremely heady day, so I'm gonna get out of my head. I'm gonna go fellowship. I'm gonna go find some people. So I went out, and then I got my coffee, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop by the farmer's market and see what's going on. And I go, and then, like, I go there and I park, and then I get out, and it's already hot, okay? It's only 10 o'clock in the morning, 9:30, 10 o'clock, but it's already hot, because we're like 6,969 feet up. So it's already started, it's, you know, and I know people that bring their dogs out with them, but it's always like they're parked in shade, all the windows are open, you know, and they're asleep in the they're good dogs. You know, I couldn't do that with my dogs. But there's dogs, this is what they've always, their whole life has been this, there's the condition, they're good dogs. Mine are all rescue, they have minds of their own and would just blah. Oh, it would be a nightmare. So, mine are good dogs, they're not obedient dogs. Now they're all old, so it's easier to catch them now, though, but. So, I walked by this truck, and it was like this black vehicle. And then it had shades on it, but it had all the windows up. And these dogs were just barking and scratching at the windows. And I was and they're right. And so I'm just like, I'm having the conversation. Do I break the window? I went in I walked in, I saw that they were selling a dozen eggs for $10, and I was like, dude, people are supposed to go, see, because there's a bunch of freaking rich people in this town, and it's a tourist town, and so, you know, there's so many people that will spend $10 on a dozen eggs. That doesn't do us fucking poor people any fucking good. It doesn't do us any good. And there's more and more poor people every day, all the time. And it's all by design. And there's plenty of, see, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. So I see this, I'm like, I see, like, people, and I start to, like, walk to, and I'm like, I can't even deal with the fucking farm, these plastic, fake ass people, you know, that just totally make a bunch of money in the freaking spirit of community, when if you fucking gave a shit about your community, you would sell your eggs for like half that. You're not even doing the work. You go out, you pick out the eggs, the chicken does the work. You know? I mean, these people are so greedy and so stingy, and the karma is being repaid like that. So I was like, I can't do this, and then I left, and then the vehicle was gone. So the people did not leave, that had the dogs in the vehicle were not there that long. And so, because there's it happens every year. You have people that freaking bring their dogs and don't think about how hot it is in the car. Or, I mean, because I've had situation, I usually don't take the dogs when it's hot, but there's been times that I've taken Luna. Okay, I'm gonna run in and check the mail. You know, but I'm not going to run in and go to the grocery store. You know, oh, the line had 15 people. That doesn't do her any good. You know what I mean? Just people don't think. Like, I got upset. That's another reason why I had to take a shower. Because I got upset because I got a message saying, okay, where I live, they're going to get a new refrigerator tomorrow. That's cool. That's great. That's okay. Now I got to get dry ice. You know, now there's things I got to do. Unpack this, you know, Oh, we'll just swap everything. But people don't think about what it entails to take everything out of here, move this. Are you going to do it in the morning at the ass crack of dawn when it's cool? Or are we going to be doing this with the door open at the frickin', 2 o'clock in the afternoon when it's 91 degrees and, there's no wind and it's hot as fuck? I mean, I'm a planner, See, that's the thing is so many people in my life have wanted to correct my behavior that they program me, that I've been programmed into this human being that just seeks out the discrepancy in every plan. So they created this freaking QA monster that is just this logistical thinker, and then but see, in society today there's just so many fat, dumb, and lazy that I'm not for the fun guy. I'm not the fun person, because I believe in doing the work first and then having a good time. That's not the world anymore. Now people freaking reward themselves and take breaks and freaking pat themselves on the back before they even finish the job. Before they even started the job, really. I mean, I think about that because I worked in all these different work environments. And I think about, like, how much people actually work. Like, you get there, people come in the office. I always had to be in, like, the early weird shifts. Like when I was in the Air Force, I worked from, like, 6 to 4. I get there a little bit after 6, and then to count tools for turnover at 6:30 for a driver shift, for the next shift, driver shift. And because you got to inventory all the tools, because you can't be losing tools on the flight line. You get sucked into an engine, and then they got to allocate freaking $1 gazillion for that. They'd rather allocate freaking money for pony shows, like bombing countries and bombing people in countries we have no business being in, or freaking... God, the military is just such bullshit, man. It's such complete bullshit. So, okay, back to the day. So I leave the farmer's market, and then I go to the coffee shop. Nobody's at the coffee shop. I'm like, all right, nobody's at the car wash either, so I'm going to go ahead and give the old van a bath because she's getting dirty. And so I did that quick, and then went and walked around the park even, just to get out some of my chi, just, So I did this big old loop, and then I'm trying not to get triggered by freaking just stupid stuff, everywhere, because they're fencing off the whole park, because they're having freaking ZZ Top. I'm like, who wants to see a bunch of freaking 70-year-old dudes freaking, that don't sound like fun, but it's the fun to a lot of people. It sounds like fun to a lot of people, and a lot of people are into it, so they're gonna go. And I'm just like, God, man, I can't find people like me nowhere. So, and that's, hey, that's good. That's good. They're having a good time, but it's not like it's a free event for everybody in the community. I mean, hell, they even used to do that at Memorial Park in Omaha. They'd have free events. They're probably sacrificing people under there and stuff like that. Hell, they probably do that here. It's because it's the Bent Street, or the Freemasons here in Taos, the Bent Street boys, the Get Bent boys, the Get Bent Street boys. They have the signs all over the place, and then you go down to old, but everybody, it's history. It's history. It's history that resides in current times, but whatever. But everybody benefits. That's why things aren't going to change, because more people, but there's a shift. There's a balance, because more people are dying off. More and more people are dying off. So there's definitely going to be a shift in balance. I saw it happen to freaking old Boober. This Bell's palsy and stuff like that. How did people think that this stuff wasn't going to happen? And then his wife, they're like in their 20s, 30s, mid-20s. I don't know, they're young. Too young to be having strokes and stuff. As I say that to Mom, and she had her stroke when she was 38. Hers were under some extenuating circumstances, though. So, anyway. But when I went into the coffee, later this afternoon, I made it back to the coffee shop, and then to the park, and then I found some fellowship. To have some nice camaraderie, have just nice conversation. That's what people, people stay stuck in their heads too much. And things fester. And when they fester, man, then sometimes freaking that stuff comes out sideways. So that's why I know. I mean, I've learned a lot of things in my life, and that I have control over how I feel. So knowing how uncomfortable I was from the get-go this morning, and how important was that I get out and get active, and try and talk with other people, and have that human connection. Because you always feel better. I always feel better. I don't know about other people. I feel better. I feel better when it's authentic. I don't feel better when it's this freaking superficial, plastic, fake nonsense. I'd never been good with that. With surfacey, shallowy bullshit. I'll just turn around and walk away. Anyway, so what else happened? Hi, Gray. I haven't been sleeping because last night Gray was out all night, and then the night before Tango was out all night, and then like Gray, and I'm just like, so I'm blessing and releasing. I'm just trying not to. It's not keeping me awake at night. I get up and then I go, if I become, okay, I'm awake, then I'll get up and then I'm awake. But sleep has always been kind of an elusive bitch to me anyway. It really has. Yeah, I'm still doing my thing. That is what I do. I gotta be consistent. I gotta have consistency in my life. Of something, and this is like my therapy. This is people see. I mean, everybody's talking about mental health and stuff like that. I'm like, well, do people know? We were talking about that at the park today. Is that I said you look around, you see people everywhere you look. You see people are mad, but if you ask them what they're mad at, could you think they could tell you? Or is there a laundry list? You know. And you have so many people that are mad just because I get mad the most when I feel like when I'm powerless, when I don't have control, which is most of the time. But a lot of times I can sit in the vibration of acceptance with that. But some days I just can't. It's like, because, I mean, I've done a lot of things in my life with God's guidance and help and direction and all that stuff. Of course, I couldn't do nothing without God in my life. And with his, strength and conviction that he's given me, I've done a lot of things in life, and so, like, I get really frustrated because the world's different, and I don't know what it's like. I gotta go talk to a real estate agent, but the deck is stacked, and and it's like, so if this person doesn't help me, does that mean that there's no help for me? I mean, it's just all this potentials of how things can go, and all that stuff is just I have no control of it, and how it's going to turn out is going to turn out. And one thing that I have also, another area I've been consistent, is my faith. And so whatever happens, I'm just going to try and make me, Mom, and the dogs as comfortable as I can for as long as I can. Because it's not easy, And I think about how we got here to New Mexico from Oregon. I mean, that was not easy. I'm one person. And it worked out that, it just worked out. It always just works out. But it's just, my body is in a heightened state at all times. And a lot of that has to do with these stupid freaking anthrax vaccines. So I breathe through it, and I meditate, and I have my spiritual practices and my disciplines and things like that, And with all of that, and I don't drink, and I don't do all the stuff I want to do, and with all that, with all that, I still have days where I'm just like, how did my life get here? And knowing that I've had power, control, or whatever to manage my life and get it to go in directions that I wanted it to, and why can't I do it now? And then I see all these freaking New Agers and stuff like that, and anytime I start hearing somebody say something like, for instance, I was lost listening to Barack, or whatever her name is, Gold, whatever. And she's been interviewing different people. And this is the second interview that I listened to, and this guy didn't like the second guy. First guy, he was pretty cool. The second guy didn't like it. And all these people that have like these freaking rags to riches stories, like this guy today, he's like, I don't know, he's on the spectrum in some capacity, and I wasn't real clear on what his superpower was, and but he's found his purpose and things like that, and that's great, and these common denominators with like these New Agers on their pink cloud that you have to heal yourself before you can heal anybody else, when they say stuff like that. When they say things like, what was the other one? What was the other one he said? And I think about all these people that say these things, and I just think to myself, yeah, that's a really easy thing to say. When all of their common denominators, all of these people that say these things, they all have a safety net. This guy had his wife, only person that's ever been nice to him. Yeah, I can understand that. That makes, I can, but still he found, she's very supportive and she's very kind, and what about all the people on the planet that have never had that in their whole entire life? Like, nothing authentic like that. Yeah, people nice to you and stuff like that, but man, people are fake. It's so freaking fake and phony, man. It's like, I don't even know if people are nice to me. Are you being nice because you're getting paid to be? Like customer service people, it's like, yeah, usually they're pretty friendly because you gotta be, but not anymore. Not in Taos, New Mexico, where the fucking clerks knock Slurpees out of your hands. Man, this place is crazy, man. I was telling them today, I'm like, the timeline that we're on, we're like in the 90s. Yeah, that's the timeline I'm in. I was telling Mr. Iski, I said, there's this like hotel that's alongside the road, and it's one of those like, or motel, I guess it is, that is like the strip, like the Bates Motel. We used to live in one. When I was in junior high, we lived in one of those places. They had like a kitchenette, 1 bedroom, bathroom. Yeah, me, Mom, and Jerry. It's a tight squeeze. Anyway. So somebody bought it, and then they're like, wanted to renovate it, right? So it's just so weird, like their rationale to do this, okay? So one day I drive by, and they had probably, I don't know, 10 to 12 pallets, however big a pallet is. What are they, like 4x4, something like that? I don't even know. How big is a pallet? Anyway, but they're stacked like, 6-7 feet high, 6 feet high, however tall enough so that pallets don't break, because they're only allowed so much weight. Stanley's playing. And so I'm like, oh dear God, what are they going to do? And then you come back later, and then they start building. They built this brick wall around this whole, like, motel. And it's like a 19 or 20-year-old kid did it, and it's like his first big job he's ever done, because there's gaps in some places. It's just, I'm sure if the kid keeps it up, he's gonna be really good at it one day, but I wouldn't be able to drive past that if I built that wall, because my eyes would be going to all the freaking shoddy craftsmanship. And that's just how they do things around here. And it's just like, I think about, like, how much money the guy spent to put this big old huge 7-8 foot brick wall around his motel. I mean, it's not inviting. I mean, could you imagine having a reservation? You get in, your plane gets in Albuquerque or Santa Fe or whatever, and then you gotta drive up, and you get here at 8, 9 o'clock at night, and there's this big old freaking brick wall around your motel. I mean, it's very Batesy. It's much more Batesy now. But somebody was like, I'm gonna spend all this money and do this, and they're like, this is what a good idea looks like to them. That's not what a good idea looks like to me. But this New Mexico is full of bad ideas. It's so funny. You got all of these ideologies, all of these bro clubs. Crime is like nothing I've ever seen. Every day, freaking women and men, young women and men, are missing every single day. I just ask myself every single day, where are these people's parents? Who knows? And so, like, I'll make comments like, I'm like, just about, just the blatant lack of valuing life, and how people don't value life around here. Very much. Some do, but not the imbalance is just is just too much. The imbalance of the people that don't care. I care about life, so I do things I don't want to do all the time. I work out, I eat a bunch of food that is good for me, but it doesn't necessarily taste good, because why? I eat food as nutrients, is to keep my body and my system going. I don't eat it to soothe my feelings much. Sometimes I will, but a couple bites here and there, it's a lot better than freaking, eating the whole pie, just denying myself all the time, and then freaking going on benders. His personality's like mine. It's real easy to do. So it's about this. Everything is about balance, man. That's why I try and go out and do things to, And then I went out to the coffee shop, and the buddy was like, hey, you think you can get out of town to go for a concert? I'm just like, no. Never can. I mean, how many times have I been someplace for an hour and a half, and then I say, gotta go home and see how mom's doing. See you later. I mean, it's like, thanks for reminding me, though. That's really cool. It's not any bands I care. I don't like, I did all the concert things. I've done all that. And it's just, the world isn't even the same anymore. Now you go to concerts, some fucking nut job is freaking shooting. It's not even the same. Concerts are, I remember my first concert, it was Primus at University of Chico back in like 88, 89. Then we went to this, I don't know why or how or whatever. I got it. It was even on an 18 years old or older night. I was only 15, but I got in this bar, and there was this band there called Eskimo, and they were freaking really cool. I really liked them. I tracked them for a while, but I lost them. But this guy kept bumping into me. And I finally turned around because I was like, dude, like, seriously, there's not that many people in the, go stand, just whatever, get off me. And the dude was freaking Les Claypool. So Primus came to see Eskimo afterwards. And I was like, I just went, dude. And I was like, oh, that's Les Claypool. So that gave him a pass to be a dick, I guess. So I just went back and stood by my friends and was like, hey, there's Les Claypool. He was just running into me. Tucker's over here snoozing. So, anyway, I call this talk. I started to talk about it one day. I was thinking about that today. It comes up every now and again when I think about my behavior. If I see somebody else acting out and stuff like that, and I think about life and dash and the dash in between life and what people have done with their life and what I've done with my life, and I think about that. It doesn't matter that everybody on the planet at some point, history books be damned, it doesn't matter. There's always resets, and everybody that ever lives, at some point, no one will know who we are. Like, the planet will evolve to a point that we even the most famous person, even the Elvis Presleys, even the, you know, the guys that are on money, you know, but if they go to electronic, I mean, those guys will even eventually fall into the cracks of obscurity. It's going to happen to everybody. So I think about, you know, it's like, Marge, in your dash, does this matter? Does this need to be added in your dash, Marge? Does this need to be added? Does this need to be a part of your dash, Marge? Leave this out of your dash. And then some days I don't. I don't want to be angry dad. I thought Mom and I were cracking up the other day. I said, Mom, I didn't turn out to be any of my parents, you or Greg. I turned out to be Larry Hickey, the guy that Mom dated when I was young. He was an alcoholic, freaking veteran went to Vietnam with PTSD, and I was just like, that's who I turned out to be like, 'cause it's kind of funny. But I don't want to be that person, but I don't know. I got a lot of good coping skills. I just get really frustrated some days that I got to use all these coping skills. And there's no way to tell for sure that like, how would I be if I wouldn't have had those fucking 8 anthrax vaccines? So freaking more people could get richer and stuff, and then I get mad and frustrated, and then